A very good morning to all our viewers. You have tuned in to Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me as always is Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get all your stock related queries answered by the experts. Do get ready for that. But first have a look at what the markets are up to. So Cheryl, it's the options weekly expiry day and markets continue to be volatile. We started off weak, but now we are seen to be recouping or recovering all those losses.
Absolutely, Shrishti. A very good morning to you. And it's good to see the markets being very resilient in trade today. No doubt yesterday you had the US markets that gave a weak handover. You had Fed that increased rate as expected, 25 basis point hike. But what was key to note is the fact that the commentary from the Federal Reserve was pretty dovish. They actually took the tone a bit down on their hawkish stance. So yes, they are expecting only one more rate hike to come in for the year 2023. But apart from that, what actually spooked the US markets is the fact that the commentary that came from US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, where she spoke, she denied having a blanket deposit insurance. This is with regards to the banking crisis. So that seemed to have spooked the markets and not the Federal Reserve statement or commentary or even the action that actually spooked the US markets. This morning, if you had taken a look at what the US futures were doing, they were actually trading higher by about 0.5%. And right now, you can see the markets also trying to recover lost ground. We are trading flat with a negative bias as of now. Nothing to complain about, given the fact that it's a smart recovery from the day's lowest point. Let's take a look at the list of gainers and losers in trade today. And first up, let's talk about Hindalco. That's the top gainer on the Nifty. Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, Nestle, Axis Bank, all of them are the other set of gainers on the Nifty as we speak. Remember, Maruti Suzuki would also be gaining on the fact that Citi has come out with a note on Suzuki Motor, that's the parent company, and they've highlighted the fact that the change in the mix of products in India of Maruti Suzuki seems to augur well for Suzuki. So that also could have had a rub-off effect on Maruti Suzuki in today's trading session. But talking about the list of losers, Asian Paints continues to be under pressure in trade today, 2% downtick. Jefferies note has also come out on this particular counter. Reliance Industries, that's the one that's putting pressure on the markets, 1% downtick coming in for Reliance Industries. HCL Tech, Wipro, Infosys are the other set of losers. As of now, it's a neck-to-neck battle when it comes to the decliners and advances when it comes to the market breadth or market ratio. As you can see, advance decline ratio. But nothing to be too perturbed about. Shrishti, as mentioned, you have power as the top gainer sectorally as well as metal. But IT is a bit under pressure. Accenture earnings are coming later today.
Okay, so we'll definitely watch out for. But Cheryl, like you were mentioning that metal counters are seen to be gaining. But on the flip side, if we will see metal from the metal space, Vedanta, this particular stock is seen to be under pressure, down over 4% in trade today. But why is that? There are reports coming in from Bloomberg where Anil Agrawal it could sell stake in Vedanta Limited. And because of that, the stock is seen to be reacting. But what are some of the more details coming out of this report? Let's get in more details from Ashesha joining us right now. Take it away, Ashesha.
So Bloomberg has reported, citing sources, that Anil Agarwal-led Vedanta Group could possibly sell stake in Vedanta Limited, which is the Indian listed entity, and this will be done to pare down group's debt level, which is manifolded over the last couple of months. In fact, the report also says that they could divest less than 5% stake in the company. 5% stake is worth about $630 million US, which when translated into Indian rupees stands at about 5,200 crores. The Bloomberg article also says that stake sale in Vedanta will be the last resort and will only be considered if all other fundraising options fail. The company, however, has responded to this particular article of Bloomberg, where they say any talks of stake sale in Vedanta are absolutely untrue and baseless. Remember, Vedanta Resources debt has been a concern over the last couple of quarters. However, it has repaid a lot of its debt. It repaid a net debt of about $2 billion US in the current financial year, and the company has also said that it will continue to deleverage from the net debt of $7.7 billion US that it has in the next 2 years. Important to note that Hindustan Zinc recently declared a dividend of 26 rupees per share, which eventually could flow through to Vedanta Resources if Vedanta also goes ahead and announces dividend, and this possibly will help Vedanta Resources repay its debt obligations. But for now, Bloomberg has reported, citing sources, that that Anil Agarwal-led Vedanta Group could sell stake in Vedanta, and that's the reason the stock is under pressure today, over 4% lower in trade for Vedanta.
Well, thank you so much, Ashesha, for getting us all those details. Definitely Vedanta is in pressure, but let's move on and let's shift focus to the buy now, sell now lens topic today. And today we're going to be focusing on the Motown and what's actually happening in this particular space, because we have seen in the past that for calendar year 2022, auto sales have seen a phenomenal jump. But when it comes to 2023, there has been some bit of a slowdown when it comes to the new bookings, as well as when we talk about the sales data and what some reports are now highlighting, because Gudi Padwa was just yesterday and this is one of the festive where new buying seemed to be happening, but this year was a bit different, wherein reports suggest that Mumbai specifically has witnessed a 50% drop in the car sales, wherein when it comes to the two-wheeler segment, the bikes has seen a 28% drop when it comes to the YY comparison of the sales of this particular day. When talking about some of the other factors that are play, which are definitely on the negative side, then the reports are suggesting that the footfalls and the inquiries are also seen to be hitting a speed breaker, where the car dealerships have seen a fall of 8 to 10% in the new inquiries and the footfalls, wherein the unsold inventory of the cars are now seen to be sitting at a 4-year high, reaching 3 lakhs unit by the month of March, and that's the highest since September 2019. The rate of cancellations on the flip side have also seen to be increased to 15 to 20% now versus 10% on the average few months that was seen to be back, and the estimated 8 lakhs outstanding orders were seen to be in the market. But going ahead, the rural demand is also seen to be at a risk on the back of the El Nino fears for the country that is lying ahead. But let's talk about the short-term trigger, that is the RDE norm implementation, and we have been highlighting that all these OEMs are gearing up for the transmission, and for that they are actually hiking the prices. We have seen Tata Motors as well as Hero MotoCorp already announcing the price hikes. So going ahead, because of the rate inflation, because of the slowdown in the rural sales, is what we are witnessing. Another price hike, what the companies are looking forward to, might have some impact on the demand, and that's the big question that we're going to be asking from the experts, right, Cheryl?
Absolutely, Shrishti. I'll give you a breather while I ask the question to our experts. We have Kunal Bothra as well as Mr. A.K. Prabhakar joining us on the show. And before I go to Kunal, let me come to you, Mr. Prabhakar, and talk about what is happening with the auto companies. It's a bittersweet moment. As someone who travels by the road daily, I would be really happy to see less number of cars on the road, on the streets of Mumbai, given the fact that there's jam-packed traffic every evening and morning when you get to work. But apart from that, for the companies and for the sentiment-wise as well, the fact that there is going to be a slowdown in car sales doesn't augur well for the company as well as the industry, isn't it?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me here. There is a lot of pressure. You take two-wheeler space. There is no revival there. Due to rural stress, untimely rainfall, and the pain has increased. And even the BS4 to BS6 has been very painful for two-wheelers, and the price has increased by almost 40%. And even in the export market, the dollar has become very scarce, and that has put very big impact on our export also. Even in PV, the order book is slowly coming off, and there is still a pressure of chip shortage that is impacting the production of some models. But we are positive on few two-wheelers here. Now, TVS Motor, if it corrects, we are positive. Even in Eicher Motor, we are positive. But tractor is one segment where, due to good water reservoir level, things have gone well for them. So they will clock a very good numbers. But auto ancillary is one space to look out, because they have slightly diversified. You take the case of Mahindra CIE. They are saying they will have India as their sourcing hub for their international operation. So we like that stock. Even Bharat Forge, they have moved away from auto to industrials. So we like few stocks, but it is a painful time at this point of time. And higher interest rate also is impacting auto sector in a very big way.
Okay, Mr. Prabhakar, thank you so much for highlighting all those factors that are play for the auto space and some of the top picks for the long term that you are recommending for our viewers. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and then it's the time to take all your stock related queries, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Just take note of the flash on the bottom of your screen where you have Vedanta spokesperson clarifying to ET Now that any talks of stake sale in Vedanta Limited is untrue and baseless. Remember, the agencies this morning put out a report that Anil Agarwal may look to actually sell about 5% stake in Vedanta. This is last resort option. And there you have the Vedanta spokesperson clarifying to ET Now that any talks of stake sale in Vedanta Limited is untrue as well as baseless. But with that, let me kickstart with the show and start taking your queries. Remember, viewers, this is a show where we get you answers for all of your stock related queries. You can write to us on our WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of your screen. We are also live on Twitter as well as Facebook. If you're writing to us for the first time, or also if you've been writing to us day in and day out, do mention your name. Also mention the stock name that you're looking to invest in. If you're already invested in a stock, mention the buy price, also the quantity. And along with that, please tell us your time horizon, because that will help our experts help you better. And with that, let me kickstart with the show. Let me bring on board our experts today. We have Kunal Bothra as well as Mr. A.K. Prabhakar on the show. Good morning to both of you. And Mr. Prabhakar, before I kickstart with the queries, what's your key advice for all the retail investors to make sure that their wealth is protected, given the fact that we are seeing highly volatile markets?
I think the volatility is slightly getting down. So I think maybe end of the year, we might start to move higher. Maybe how much correction is pending, I don't know. But the worst is near next 2-3 months. The worst will be completed. After which I expect the market to be very positive. So you have to be in the right stock at the right time. Defense is one sector we like. Power is one more sector we like. Valuations are very attractive in power. So we like power sector. And even gas sector has come back. Due to Russia-Ukraine war, gas was one segment which took the maximum hit. Now the prices have stabilized. So in that segment, we like GAIL, we like Gujarat Gas, IGL, MGL. So there are segments which are coming back. These are the stocks and sectors which can outperform in the next 1 year.
Okay, so those are the sectors that you should be watching out for, and that's the advice coming in for all our retail investors. Mr. Prabhakar believes that the pain could be there in the short term, but towards the end of the year, we can see some up move coming in for the markets. But let's move on and start taking all your stock-related queries, viewers. And the first question that I have is coming from Rakesh. And Mr. Prabhakar, since you were touching upon the power space, he has two counters. First is REC, 500 shares at a price of 97 rupees, and PFC holding 500 shares at a price of 150 rupees. Since he's sitting at a profit in both of these counters, what will be your advice?
So he has got an entry at a very excellent price, and we need to understand these two companies give dividend yield which is more than 10%. So if you're a safe investor where you want dividend also to make good, I think these are two companies you can hold on. There will be volatility in the stock. But as a long-term investor, you are getting regularly 10% as a dividend at current prices. If your buy price, it will be even more. It can be 12-13%. So then margin of safety is there. And these stocks normally are volatile. But dividend is something which will protect you over a period of time.
All right. Let me go on to the next query then. And this one is coming in from Deepak. He's writing to us from San Diego, and yes, Deepak, we are taking your query. Thank you so much for actually staying up to so late, waiting for us to take your query. And Kunal, he wants to know about Fine Organics, which saw a huge volume breakout with price in yesterday's trading session. He's saying one day green candle took out 6 days of red. Is it the right time to buy afresh, and what sort of a price and targets can he actually look for this particular counter?
So good morning. I think Fine Organic seems to be now a chart which is emerging to be a potential candidate of a turnaround. There are only two things which I would probably keep a watch on. One is, yes, yesterday's price action, volume action was very strong. It managed to engulf 4-5 days of price action move prior to that. But then the first and most important point is that is this trend going to have a strong follow through up move, which means that, for example, today you're seeing the stock up 1.5% after yesterday's 5% plus kind of an upward move. Now, whether the stock in the next 4 or 5 days rises up by another 5%, that could probably indicate that the buying power which happened yesterday could probably have a strong impact into the stock price over the near term. The other way to look out for is that the stock is not yet confirmed a breakout of a previous swing resistance. The first major swing resistance would come by for the stock maybe at 4,800, 5,000 levels. So whichever way we look out for, I think it's better that you wait out for maybe another couple of days. Let the stock confirm a strong follow-through up move. Maybe at 4,750 odd levels could be a far more better confident level to buy the stock rather than anticipating a turnaround at current zone.
Moving on, Kunal, once again coming to you. The question is coming from Venkat Rao, and he wants to know, is this a good time to enter Ramkrishna Forging? And if yes, then at what price?
I think Ramkrishna Forging has been one stock which has been actually trending quite well. In fact, over the last 4-5 months, when the market volatility has been very sharp and swift, this stock has been holding above the 200-day moving average. I think, if I'm not wrong, just over the last 1.5 odd year, the stock has not yet broken below the 200 DMA. It's hanging around the 50-day moving average. Minor retracements towards the 50 DMA has been acting as a good support for Ramkrishna Forging. Now, I think at current levels, 278, the 50 DMA for the stock price is at 270 levels. So if you are looking out for a classic entry point, then I think 270 could be a good entry point for Ramkrishna Forging.
One is coming from Arvind Reddy. He has 50 shares of Ashok Leyland at a price of 153 rupees per share. Kunal, he wants to know at what should be his short-term target for Ashok Leyland. No doubt it's cooled off from those elevated levels, but this one did see a spectacular rise as well.
Yeah, spectacular rise for Ashok Leyland, but somehow in the last 6-8 months, 1 year approximately, the stock has lost its mojo. So it's been a stock which has been very, very sideways. It tends to remain into its own periods of consolidation. There was a phase in 2022 second half where most of the auto stocks did fabulously well. Many of the stocks had given a big breakout, two-wheelers as well as the four-wheeler names. But then surprisingly, Ashok Leyland remained a bit more sideways. Now, it doesn't mean that the stock price trends are negative and you should sell the stock. I would just sense that this requires a lot of patience from here on. So possibly in the next 6 months or 1 year, the stock may remain a bit more sideways. Maybe 155 could be the upper end of the range and 125 could be the lower end of the range. So I would suggest that closer to 125 is where you should look to average, and just around that 150, 155 zone is where you should look to book out profits.
Okay, moving on, and Mr. Prabhakar, the question is from Balan, and he's holding shares of Rushil Decor at a price of 405, currently sitting at a loss, and wants to know, is that a hold, or rather he should shift to large cap names like Infosys or ITC. Do you track Rushil Decor?
We don't track the stock. I would be better to buy ITC. Infosys also is okay. But ITC is something where the growth is coming in the cigarette segment. So I will stick with ITC in this choice.
This one is coming from PS Sandhu. He's writing to us, she is writing to us from Chandigarh. And Mr. Prabhakar wants to invest, the viewer wants to invest about 2 lakh rupees in any one small cap or a mid cap company for a time horizon of about 3 years. Any pick that you have that you can share?
I think we talked about defense space or power space. So if they what is the mid cap or small cap they are looking, if it is only the market cap, then I think we can go with BDL. Or if they are looking at price, then we can look something different. Now I think GAIL is also looking good in the large cap space. So now GAIL is something I like, where you get 6% dividend and the gas prices are coming down. And yesterday, the regulator also announced a hike in gas prices. So I think this is one stock for next 3 years where I'll be very comfortable.
Okay, so those are the top picks coming in from Mr. Prabhakar. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now show, where you get all your stock related queries answered by the experts. And continuing the same, the next question is from Bharat, and Kunal, coming to you for the next one. I beg your pardon, this is for the fundamental analyst. So Mr. Prabhakar, coming to you for this, he wants to know the right entry price for Sundaram Finance. Is this particular counter? What's your view on this one? And any price then when he can start accumulating this?
It has been a very old company and a very good business model. So we like the stock. They have about less than 40,000 crores of AUM. I think it is 38,000 crores if I'm right. But it is steady company. So I think the stock corrects 5-10%. It will be very attractive.
This one has come from Jayendran. He is writing to us on two counters, Kunal. One is on City Union Bank. 166 is a buy price, 2,000 shares. He bought it for the long term, say for 3 years. But he wants to know by when can he see a recovery in the price of City Union Bank. And also likewise, he has India Cements 2,000 shares at 191 rupees per share. Makes sense to continue to hold on to this one.
So Cheryl, for City Union Bank, I think it will take a lot of time for the stock to recover because the recent dent to the stock price. There was some sort of a news flow for City Union Bank, I think in the month of December 2022, and that has created a huge impact on the downside for the stock price. In fact, it's been unable to even lift off and break past about that 100. I think 65 was the level, and 80-85 was the level for the stock price when the news had come by, and from there the stock had fallen very sharply, which means it should take a lot of time for the stock to recover from those levels. My sense is that it may take at least another couple of quarters, if not more, for the stock to even try and come back towards 150, 155. So I think in that regard, if you can hold on to it for the next couple of quarters, then I believe it makes sense to hold on to City Union Bank. India Cements, on the other hand, again, a stock which has been an underperformer, I would say, largely with respect to most of the cement peers. My sense is that if you can shift to maybe Ultratech Cement or Shree Cement, that could be a better play instead of sticking with India Cement.
Okay, moving on, and Mr. Chokalingam, coming to you because this one is a long-term query. Mohit is holding 50 shares of TCS near about the current market price, and he's holding shares at 3,166 rupees. His time horizon is for the next 3 years. Can he add more quantity at this point in time? Okay, Mr. A.K. Prabhakar, this one is for you.
Yeah. Now, there is a change in the management and it is a positive move. So I think TCS can be averaged or bought more at current level.
Right. This one is coming from Vaishnavi from Chennai. And Kunal, this one is specifically for you. She got Schneider 50 shares at a price of 178 rupees per share. So, the purchase was done in 2015. She wants to know whether it makes sense to hold or should look to exit, and also what sort of a target should she keep in mind given the fact the stock is below her buy price right now?
Well, yeah, but I would still say that the trend is quite strong for Schneider on the long-term basis. It's still retraced, so technically it's retraced back towards just its 200-day moving average. I think 156.7 is where the stock is sitting right now, and technically it's just a retracement towards the long-term averages. I think you should continue to hold on Schneider from current levels. My belief is that the stock maybe over the next couple of quarters or over the next 1 year or so should try and come back about the 200 plus levels.
Okay, Kunal, coming to you for the next one. Julie bought Asian Paints 105 shares at a price of 2,888 rupees. Though she bought this for the short term, but now selling at a loss and willing to know what to do next.
So I would suggest to hold on to the stock as of now. I think this crude breakdown and then the expectations that probably paint stocks could rally, that has not played out to perfection in the last couple of days when the selling the crude oil prices has gotten to a stronger level. But then this also indicates that probably the stock is getting into a time-wise correction a bit more. So even if you're a short-term investor, I would still believe that there is a chance that the stock may probably come back towards 2008-80, 2009-20 over the very near term.
All right, the next one that is coming in is coming from Venkateshan, and he is, just a second, Shashi, you want to take over on this one by any chance?
Yes, absolutely. I have a query coming in from Subrata, and Kunal, he bought Wipro at a price of 405, and he wants to sell this counter and rather shift to EID Perry. Please advise what he should do in the short to medium term.
See, I'm not sure whether you want to shift from sector to one sector to another sector, but then my recommendation is that if you want to stick to the same sector, then I would suggest that instead of Wipro, you can shift to Tech Mahindra. That's a much more better, much more stronger chart. EID Perry, on the other hand, I think is a stock which has been a bit more sideways, so I would not recommend a hold.
All right, sorry for the glitch in between. I've come back with my query. This one's from Venkatesan. He's writing to us from Coimbatore, and he's holding 100 shares of Kajaria Ceramics, bought at around 600 rupees per share. 2 years ago is when he actually purchased this particular counter. Sharp rally from 600 rupees to about 1,050 odd rate right now. Kunal wants to know, should he exit?
No, I think you should hold on to Kajaria Ceramics. I think it's a excellent chart. You know, I've tracked the stock over the last many years. It's been very consistent in terms of the price patterns. Even though the recent charts for the stock have been a mix of sideways, trading at 1,000 plus levels, it's still trading below the 200-day moving average marginally. But then the stock has been very strong in terms of the trends. I would believe that you should hold on to such kind of names from a long-term play. Would suggest a hold.
Okay, Kunal, Vivek is asking and wanting to know from you 2 to 3 short-term technical calls for the next 3 to 6 months, and he's also looking for some fundamental picks. But I believe that Mr. Prabhakar has already shared many of his top recommendations during the show. So, Kunal, do you have any names in mind?
Yeah, quite a few. So first one would be IDFC Limited. I think that stock is trading at 80, 81 levels. I think it looks very attractive to me from a 10 to 15% kind of an upside. So if you have a time horizon of say 1 to 3 weeks, then you could look out for at least an 87, 88 kind of a target or higher than that for IDFC Limited. Tech Mahindra is something which I just advised some time back. Looks very attractive on the charts, trading at 1100 levels. The breakout level is yet to reach for Tech Mahindra, but my sense is that the stock should perform extremely well going forward. So even if you have a 3 month to 6 month horizon or even a 3 week kind of a horizon, I think Tech Mahindra is something which you can look to buy. So these are two immediate plays or immediate stocks which you can bet upon.
Okay, this one is coming from Hari Prasad, and he wants to know whether it's good time to enter Vedanta. What's your take on this one, Mr. Prabhakar?
No, there is some volatility in the stock. Metals is something I will avoid at this point of time. So no.
Okay, that's an avoid.
Stay out.
Okay, that's an avoid coming in on Vedanta. But Mr. Prabhakar Subramaniam from Chennai wants to know what to do in City Union Bank. He's already holding the shares at an average price of 180 rupees. At this point in time, since he is at a loss, should he accumulate more?
No, Kunal answered it. I think I go with Kunal. Now, this stock has had a few penalties coming from RBA. So, if it is one regulatory thing, it is okay. But multiple time it has happened. So, it will take time to recover. It is a good bank. They are doing everything right. But when you are on the wrong side of the regulatory setup, then it takes very long time to recover. So, if we have more than 3 to 5 years, it is okay. But averaging at this point of time, I will not advise, because let them prove themselves they are on the right side of the regulator. Then we can think about averaging the stock.
Okay, this one is coming from N. Chandrasekharan and from Chennai, asking about TCS and Infosys. Has about 50 shares each. Both are in 20% and 7% profit respectively. Kunal, he wants to add some more of these shares. One, he wants to know, should he go ahead and add some more right now, and which one at what price?
Yeah, I think you can add both of these stocks at current levels. I think Infosys at 1350 mark approximately, plus or minus a few percentage points. TCS also at 3100, 3200 zone. I think is a very attractive zone to add both of these names. I would recommend that if possible, if there is surplus cash or you want to add maybe another third stock from the IT pack, look out for Tech Mahindra. I think the stock has some very attractive chart patterns over the near to medium term. So looks attractive to me. So if you can add third stock, I would recommend Tech Mahindra.
Okay, Mr. Prabhakar, S. Gopalakrishna is holding 2,000 shares of IRB Infra Developers from a price of 26 rupees. Do you track this one, and would you be able to advise him what to do next?
Infra stocks are doing very good. Even IRB, their sales and revenues have been going up. Now, I think, you have entered at a very good price. So I think, you can hold on to it.
All right, this one is coming from Rajendra. He's writing to us from Bangalore. Kunal, he wants to know about Pyramid Enterprises and or Barbecue Nation. Which one among these are better? Also, if you could tell and explain as to why is there a sharp drop in Pyramid Enterprises prices?
Well, very difficult to explain why the stock has been dropping, but the correction has been very sharp, very intense. I've been tracking the stock very, very closely. There was a point where around this 800, 850 mark, the stock looked very attractive. It tried to challenge back its 200 EMA, but the way the stock has corrected very sharply indicates that that was a very feeble or a weak kind of an attempt towards a 200 DMA. The setup looks very weak. I would suggest to avoid the stock let it show the confidence back again or confirm a breakout. Only then you should be looking to buy, not on anticipation. At least the last 2 3 months of charts have shown that. And same would be the case with the other stock which you mentioned. I would believe that the second stock which you mentioned was.
The other one was Barbecue Nation.
Yeah, even Barbecue Nation does have an attractive chart. In fact, I would recommend a stock which I've been recommending time and again on the show. That's Better Foods. I think that's a much more stronger, much more better chart. Has evolved quite well over the last 5 6 months. So I would recommend not to go for Barbecue Nation, but in fact go for Better Foods. That's a much more better chart.
Okay, Mr. Prabhakar, Hemant is actually holding 3 auto ancillary names. Instead of giving the buying price, I'll tell you the percentage of the loss. Samvadna Motherson Wiring, as well as Jamna Auto. In all the 3 counters, sitting at a loss of 10 to 15%. Which one should he hold for long term, say for the next 4 to 5 years? And is there any stock he can consider switching in this particular space?
Yeah, Jamuna Auto is something we don't track. Motherson, both these stocks are very good, but we need to understand, auto is not in a good space, so it will take time for recovery. But I have mentioned before, we like Mahindra CIE, which will soon become CIE Automation. So that is a MNC company we like for a long-term purpose. So Jamuna Auto can be shifted here. We even like Bharat Forge in this space.
All right, so that's the view coming in on auto and plays, and which one can Hemant look at. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of a Buy Now Sell Now. Stay tuned, more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.